what did you just say? Oh, the picking captain. So Stevie Nickel, that aspect I think is we mentioned we improved on our sports psychology, right? And understanding that it's not just the senior players have to have it. So you could have someone who respectfully, I won't say this, a bum, and
respectfully,
suddenly they have to be it just because they're the oldest person out there. Nah, come on, man. That's number one, and then also you put a great point on it. I think both this probably better for the youth in comparison to the professionals, but I think it still can work both ways. Where when they picked all three, and now some will rise to the occasion, but now you challenged a few to step up and take that responsibility. That's something of maybe position or a responsibility they would not have done beforehand, and now they feel the need to step up, and that not just helps with their leadership, but also their personal performance. So taking that responsibility, not staying focused, staying in the zone, making sure they're learning to uplift and balance that. It's a really cool balance. Like
just to add off of what Phil is saying, because this just crossed my mind as you were talking. In the youth level, right? I feel like a primary goal for any coach for any sport at the youth level should be focusing on developing leaders in all your players, not just some, not just a few who you think are leaders, right? But you should make an effort to teach each and every single one of them things they can do to be successful leaders. Like, check up on your teammates, find out how everyone is doing, right? Be a problem solver, not a complainer. Lead by example. Those kind of things that we're constantly telling players to do, they're not just things for players to do. Those are important things that every leader needs to do. So in a sense that, at least at the youth level, I feel like we should be making that effort to create leaders in everyone, not just say, okay, we've picked a captain, so now we're gonna just focus on the captain being the leader and everybody else gets a free pass to be a bum or to not try hard or to do whatever.
Relax.
Relax, right? Yeah. So definitely adding on to that point, there should definitely be a push for it. I think teams that are successful, whether it's at the youth level or at the professional level, and if you're looking at a team with a lot of leaders that I can think of off the top of my head, it'll be Bayern Munich, right? Mm-hmm. Bayern doesn't seem like
you're going to say Chelsea for a second.
Well, I think if this was like between 06 to like
well, it's not, is it? It's not between 06 and 12.
But we have a really young team right now, so give us a second. Give us a
second. Yeah. No, I'd say Bayern. Bayern is a team that you could see leaders on every part of the field.
Most definitely.
And transitions also.
Transitions, cool part, right? Yeah, and it's also much easier for the new players coming in to fit in because everyone is showing leadership qualities. So that new player coming in is like, oh crap, this is the standard. I have to live up to it, and that makes their team the team that they are. That and the fact that every team in the Bundesliga is
their feeder team apparently.
We had to go there. We had to
good
go
players.
There.
Wait.
Yeah, we did.
Come on, let us get 3 years with them. Come on, then we'll give them to you. We promise.
We can't talk about Bayern Munich or the Bundesliga without taking those shots, can we? You actually said something interesting. I hate to continue on, but I told players, I don't remember where I picked up on it, but we're talking about positive leaders and negative leaders, which positive leaders are basically someone who takes the team up and negative leaders are someone who brings the team down. And I actually asked that question, like, could you imagine being called a negative leader, as in you bring the team down, as in as soon as you're on the field or as soon as you're at practice, the quality goes down or how we practice goes down, the intensity. And I believe there are positive leaders and negative leaders. Another point I learned was technical leaders, mental leaders, physical leaders, all these things, type of players who they bring out something else in players who all right, Messi might not be the most vocal of leaders, but he's definitely a technical leader. And yes, was definitely a technical. He's still playing in Japan, right? So a technical leader, and a physical leader.
He changed a little bit, didn't he? Because think about him.
Oh no, yes, no, absolutely.
And now he's been a lot more vocal as he's gotten older. I will say, because he can't.
Absolutely. But no, it's something. It's different types of leaders. So I'll say that. another thing is it possible? Actually, before I get to that, what is this thing with making? Mane is the captain for his national team. Salah's the captain for his national team. John Obi Mikel's the captain for national. I don't know them personally. We only see them when they play for Chelsea or for Liverpool and all these things. But are they great leaders, or is it just kind of like he's the best player and he wants to be known as the captain? Probably.
Actually, so this actually goes back to the first definition that we had, right? Which was that you want your captain to be a representation of your values as a coach, right? And what better person to have represent your values as a coach than the player that is the best player on your team? Because then it reinforces what you're doing as a coach. Because then you're like, look at Salah, right? He's so good because he follows my values as a coach.
Or he tracks back, right?
That's not the, you know, that's not the case. But you will still, like, you would want that. You want that to be the case. And I think, Milton, you could probably relate to this really well. You've had a situation where you had a player on a team that was really good, and you wanted them to have more of a leadership role, but they just weren't there. They just weren't there. So then you try to push it and push it and push it. Now, if you go back and ask yourself, why do you think you were doing that? Because if this person expresses those qualities, first of all, if they're good, right? Everyone on the team already perceives them as a leader.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nobody is going to question it. When they have the ball, they'll try to pass it to them. They're always looking to see what they do. They're learning from that specific player. So if you make that player your captain, and that player is a successful captain, if they're also a successful leader, I mean, that's like the ideal situation.
Absolutely.
That's the ideal situation. So in the case of Salah and Mane, I'm not gonna speak for Salah because let's just say, as good of a player as he is, I still have my gripes with how he plays sometimes. But on Mane's side, the impression, I don't know any of these people personally, but the impression that I get is Mane seems like, well, he's a very, actually, let me backtrack. They're both very hardworking players, which is an important quality. They both give their 100% for the team, which is also an important quality. They're both consistent performers. That means game in, game out, they're always doing, they're basically repeating the same things they always do, which is also an important quality, and a whole bunch of other things. Are those values that you think their coach wants to see in them? Probably. So do they deserve to be captains? First of all, do they have the respect of their teammates? Probably. Do they have the respect of their country? Probably, definitely. Yeah. So as a coach, at that point, it's like, it's a no-brainer. Who are you going to make captain?
Absolutely.
I would. Unless you had Neymar, in which case, that's a whole other story.
Unnecessary.
This slanderous conversations y'all be having, man. I don't know. I want to throw out here. I do have a year of coaching experience for community league for basketball, age 13 and 14. I was going to throw that out there, so I do understand some of these.
The next
5 and 3. We made the playoffs, but it happens.
All right, so that was a great discussion. We did miss out on 2 questions, but before we move on to the next subject, I'm going to present those 2 questions for a later time. Is it possible to have too many cooks in the kitchen? Because at Bayern Munich last year, you had Neuer as the captain for his national team, David Alaba, Robert Lewandowski, and then you have other leaders like Müller and Kimmich and all this stuff. Is it possible? And another question is, how do you said, Ike, you want every coach to try to make every single player a leader. How do you do that? But that's enough for that particular discussion. Thank you for checking out the ToroFoot Podcast today. I hope you enjoyed it. Hit the like and the subscribe button and check out some of the other videos we have available as well. Thank you very much.